Hello Leute! Herzlich willkommen zu meinem Kanal. Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Una sa lahat, congratulations! Dahil kung ikaw ay nanonood ng video na to, sa malamang ay ikaw ay magsisimula pa lang mag-aral ng German language or ikaw ay nag-German language course na. So, sa video na to, i-share ko sa inyo ang 5 tips na sinundan ko at finalo ko kung paano ko naipasa ang Filipinos Allgemein exam ng 1 week. Without further ado, Los Gates. Tip number 1. Attitude. Why attitude? Bago ka magsimula na mag-aral ng German language, kailangan na itanong mo ang sarili mo kung bakit mo gustong pag-aralan ng language. Dahil sa akin, bago ko mag-decide na mag-aral ng German language ay ang sagot sa tanong na yan ay I want to learn the German language because I want to. So under attitude is merong 4 key points. Number 1 is your motivation. What is your motivation in learning the language, or what is your motivation in learning a new language? Para sa akin, gusto ko mag-aral ng German language kasi gusto ko matuto ng bagong language. And then second is, I really want to work as a nurse here in Germany. So that is motivation. And of course, second key point under attitude is your focus and commitment. Under this key point is your willingness to learn the language. Ako, I am very willing to learn the language. That's why, pagdating ng A1 ko pa lang, since day 1, nakuha ko na yung focus na kailangan meron ako para matutunan ko ang language. And then commitment is that you should commit yourself to learn the language. I mean, kung gaano ka committed sa ibang bagay, kung paano natin kinukommit ang sarili natin sa isang bagay na gustong-gusto natin is dapat ganun ka rin ka-committed sa pag-aaral ng German language. Because, disclaimer, kung ikaw ay nag-aaral ng German language dahil nalaman mo na yung friends mo ay nandito sa Germany, pero wala talagang inner commitment mo para matuto, I don't think magiging successful ka para mag-aral ng German language. Although merong iba na naging okay naman, hindi sila ganong committed, pero pumasa naman. Pero for me, if you really want to take the exam in one take, be committed enough para matuto ng language. Next key point under attitude is your patience. We are nurses, so we are known to have a very patient heart and a very patient attitude. So apply it when learning the language course, the German language, I mean. Kailangan mo ng malaking pasensya at mahabang pasensya. Because I'm telling you, the German language is not an easy language. That is true. Why? Para sa ating hindi naman natin mother tongue ang German language is mahirap yun. And during the Deutsch course or the language course is pag-aaralan mo talaga lahat from the basic. Ultimong counting numbers from 1 to 100, the alphabets, the pronunciation, und so weiter. So you have to be very patient enough na matutunan yun. Kasi may mga napansin ako na lalo yung mga kino-compare nila yung sarili na si ganito, natutunan niya agad, si ganito, natutunan niya agad, pero ako hindi pa natututo. Gusto nang mag-quit agad. Nasa level 1 pa lang, gusto nang mag-quit sa language course, sa German language course. And yun, kailangan maging mapasensya kayo habang nag-aaral ng German language. Kasi I'm telling you, it's not really an easy language. Number 4 key point under attitude is positivity. Yan ang meron ako since day 1 na nag-aral ako ng German language. Na I know hindi lahat meron yun at na-maintain until the end. I tried to maintain being positive and optimistic until I take the exams. Although may mga nangyari in the middle because of this coronavirus, this pandemic, bumaba ng onto yung pagiging optimistic ko, but I managed to drag it back na enough positivity para maipasa ko yung exam. When I mean positivity, positive ako, napapasa ako ng exam kahit anong hirap ng language course. And with this positivity is, I want to tell you, is enjoy learning the language. Because if you always take the language course, the German language course, very negative, like masyado mong ini-stress yung sarili mo, hindi mo ini-enjoy, for sure, you will not really learn the language the way I learned it. Yun yung masasabi ko. So that is all for tip number 1. Gusto mo sabihin sa inyo na itong tips na mga sinasabi ko is pinag-isipan kong mabuti yan, and I'm very well sure na mag-work din sa inyo yan kung you will just take it seriously itong mga sinasabi ko. Okay, let's go to tip number 2. Lagi kong sinasabi to sa mga kakilala ko or nagtatanong sa akin or even sa husband ko na kasama ko nag-aral ng German language since day 1 ng pag-aaral ng German language. By the way, sa German language is merong 4 levels yan. A1, A2, B1, and B2. I don't know for some, but nag-aral ako sa Intermed or Tigas, we have 4 levels. A1, A2, B1, B2. So technically, there are 4 levels of the language course. And from day 1 na nag-aral ako ng language course is laging sinasabi ng mga teachers namin na paramihin ang vocabulary. Kasi imagine, kung may isang buong dictionary ang German language, mamememorize mo ba yan? Lahat? Hindi. Hindi rin pwedeng ituro everyday lahat ng laman ng dictionary na yon. So you have to find ways paano mo palalawakin ang Wortschatz mo, vocabulary mo. Kasi a wide vocabulary is a very helpful tool para maipasa mo ang language exam, ang German language exam. Because with vocabulary, marami kang mai-apply na strategies such as context clues. So, very well said, vocabulary. Palawakin nyo ang vocabulary nyo. Lahat ng nababasa nyo kung habang nag-aaral kayo, kung may natipuhan kayong words, tandaan nyo yan or find ways paano nyo palalawakin ang vocabulary nyo. Comment down below kung gusto nyo i-topic natin sa mga susunod na videos. Tip number 3. Practice. Sabi nga nila, practice makes perfect. Pero I believe practice doesn't really make things perfect, but it makes things better. So, para sa akin, very important itong tip number 3 na practice towards passing the exam in one take. By the way, sa German language exam, merong 4 na skills na just like IELTS. Listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Yan yung 4 na skills na dapat i-practice at matutunan ninyo para maipasa ang German language exam. Pero for me, under practice, para sa akin lang to, practice speaking since day 1 and practice writing. Practice speaking, why? Of course, a language that is not being used is useless, makakalimutan mo siya. So, kapag in-engage at kinumit mo na yung sarili mo na mag-aral ng German language exam, kailangan use the language. Alam kong it's easier said than done, hindi ganun kadali, pero find a way. Paano ba kayo nag-practice ng speaking before? You talk to yourself in the mirror, or for me, it was easier kasi kasama ko yung husband ko during the journey. But of course, you have friends. Of course, you have friends or classmates nag-aral ng German language. Find a way na mag-aral, mag-practice kayo ng speaking. Dahil ang speaking is very important when you get here to Germany. I'm telling you. Very important na matutunan nyo yung language. And how will you apply the language? By speaking, of course. Next, practice writing. When you speak, you can write. When you write, you can speak. I think, it comes together. I mean, partner yun. So, kung makapagsulat ka, it's very impossible na hindi mo siya maisalita. So, for me, personally, I love writing. So, since A1 hanggang B level, I did not have a hard time in the part kasi gustong-gusto kong magsulat. Like, very wild and vivid yung imagination ko with things na kahit ito lang yung task na hinahanap, na i-elaborate ko pa siya further kasi ang dami kong na-imagine. Like, I'm putting myself in the task, pinapasok ko yung sarili ko sa mundo ng task para mapaganda ko yung writing ko. Tip number 4 is test-taking strategies. Nung nag-take naman tayo ng NLE natin, Nursing Licensure Exam, di ba itinuro sa atin ng test-taking strategies? Pero dito, sa German language exam, actually hindi siya tinuturo sa school, pero on my own, I tried to find test-taking strategies nang hindi naman ako ganun mahirapan sa exam. Kasi imagine, you're taking an exam of Deutsch or in German language. Hindi ganun kadali yun. So you have to find a way kung paano mo sasagutin or atakahin ang isang tanong nang hindi ka mahihirapan. Test-taking strategies can be mostly applied sa listening, sa speaking, at saka sa Sprachbausteine o yung sinasabi nilang complete the blanks. That is grammar. So, for me, nag-work yung test-taking strategies. Paano ko in-apply yun? Ang daming resources. Maghanap ka sa internet. Number 1, YouTube. Ang dami-daming YouTube channels na nag-offer ng mga examination materials, sample examination materials for the exam. From there, pwede mong practicein yun. Or internet, you can even use the Goethe examination materials para mag-practice ng test-taking strategies mo. So, mula A1, A2, B1, B2, marami na akong sinasagot ang examination materials para makadevelop ako ng test-taking strategies ko. I don't know kung ginawa yun ng mga ibang nag-aral ng language, pero for me, nag-work yun. Kasi nga, I am very eager and I really wanted to pass the exam and learn the language. Tip number 5 is master the basic. Lahat ng basic. When I say basic, basic ng grammar, ng German language, basic ng lahat. Basic ng lahat ng language course, German language course. Because it all boils down yan sa basic. Kahit level per level, nagiging complicated yung mga topics. As long as solid yung pagkakatanda mo sa basic ng grammar at ng German language course, hindi ka mawawala. Kasi kung ang foundation mo, which I call the basic, is not strong, I guess mahihirapan ka hanggang dulo pag hindi mo pinastrong yun. So for me, lagi kong sinasabi sa mga kakilala ko din nun or yung nagtatanong sa akin na, uy, paano mo natutunan yung ganito, ganyan, ganyan? Basic. Kasi galing yan sa basic na ganito. Ganun yung sinasabi ko. So, master the basic. When I say master, ipasolid nyo talaga yung pagkakatanda ninyo sa basic ng grammar, basic ng German language. So, yung 5 na tips na ito na shinare ko sa inyo ay solely finalo ko siya, pinag-isipan kong mabuti, and I believe, for me, naging successful ako sa pag-take ng German language exam, ng TELC language exam, na hindi ko lang actually naipasa yung exam but na-surpass ko yung goal ko. May goal kasi ako with this. Ang goal ko lang kasi is makapasa. Kasi the language is not easy. But the German language exam, I'm telling you, is hindi siya joke. I mean, kailangan mo talaga siyang seryosohin. So, ayun, ito yung 5 tips na finalo ko. And as I mentioned, na-surpass ko nga yung goal ko na makapasa lang. At ito, yung naging result ng exam ko. Ito yung TELC certificate ko. So, ito lang yung talagang naging guide ko para makapasa at mas maging successful sa German language exam. Siguro meron pa sa inyo dyan na mas okay or mas mataas pa yung naging or summary ng score niya. Pero for me, proud na ako dyan kasi sa dami ng pinagdaanan naming challenges dahil sa corona pandemic na to, na na-delay yung exam, is naging ganito pa rin at more than the goal na gusto kong mangyari. So, I'm proud of myself. Be proud of yourself kasi alam kong nunod ka at alam mo sa sarili mo na papasa ka. Just follow my tips, believe me, and you will surely be a B2 TELT Algemeen passer in one day. Congratulations in advance and bis zum nächstes Mal. See you next time.